All right, you've gone through the product selection process and understand how to find profitable products to sell on Amazon and minimize your risk of losing your investment. And you now know how to make sure you have a great converting listing so you can maximize your chances of getting sales. Now let's move on to part 3 of the training, which is how to make a launch and sales process on Amazon to create an ongoing income stream. Here's what we're going to cover in this video. First, how to get sales on your products during their launch by using a simplified ad strategy that doesn't just blow your budget and profit out the back door. We'll also cover how to get reviews for brand new products, which will lead to getting page 1 keyword ranking on your most relevant and most searched terms. And lastly, we'll talk about comparing estimated results with your actual launch numbers. Chapter 1, using Amazon ads to cost effectively get your first sales on Amazon. Let's start with the part about sales because this is probably the easiest and most controllable thing you can do on Amazon to help kickstart a new product. You have to remember in part 1 of this training, we talked about finding your main keywords in a couple of different ways. First, if you're an existing brand registered seller, you can use the Product Opportunity Explorer to find your top 20 or more keywords based on Amazon's own data. If you don't have a seller account or you aren't brand registered yet, you can use tools like Jungle Scout's Keyword Scout and also use real-world sampling of friends and family just by asking enough people what they call your product to get some very relevant keywords. Once you have that list of your most relevant keywords, you need to advertise on those keywords to get sales for your products. Even before your first review comes in, you need to run ads to get visibility and sales. And I want to show you how to simplify ads so that you can optimize, adjust, and understand your ads without overwhelming yourself and running into a situation where your ads take all the profit from your products. Ads will have a couple of different objectives, and it's imperative you understand that during a launch, you will lose money on ads to help get the product kickstarted. The goal is to start making money on the product after the launch phase and continue to do so for years. So you sacrifice a profit for a few months to get a product profitable for years. So that's ads objective number 1. Get sales from your ads to increase keyword ranking on the highly relevant phrases your customers will use to find you as easily as possible. By getting in front of customers on major keywords first, you create a flywheel for yourself where they can buy your product more easily and then increases your ranking on the search results, which makes it easier to find the product and thus gets more sales and increases your search ranking further. It kind of just goes in a cycle like that. Ads objective number 2 is you also want to get sales to get a profit. As I mentioned, during your launch for your product, you're probably not going to get a good profit until you have regular, good organic keyword ranking. When I say organic keyword ranking, I mean that this is where your product will show up on the search results page when a customer types in a search term phrase in the search bar, and it's not counting where your ad is showing up on the page. That's not organic, that's paid ranking. So until you get decent page 1 organic ranking, you won't be that profitable with ads. However, that doesn't mean you want to burn your ad budget without trying to be as profit conscious as possible too. The idea with your ads at launch is to bid somewhat low as your conversion and click rates will likely be low due to the fact you don't have any reviews just yet or not a lot of reviews. I know other ad experts will tell you to bid high and spend a lot at launch, but I've never found the strategy to be very effective because most sellers run out of money faster when they do this and the ads just don't perform very well. Therefore, I would suggest keeping your profit and budgets in mind even at the start so that you don't feel like your ads are burning a hole through your bank account. This will also help you discover more keywords without losing your launch budget. In order to keep this in context, you need to focus on your total advertising cost of spend, which is also known as TACOS. This is the metric that tells you how much of your revenue is eaten up by your ad spend. For example, if you have $10,000 in sales for a month and you have $2,000 in ad spend for that same month, then your TACOS is 20% because you just divide the ad spend of $2,000 by the revenue of $10,000. A really good baseline to keep in mind is somewhere between 15 to 20% because that will keep almost all products profitable ongoing. You can have slightly lower or kind of towards that bottom of the 15%, but somewhere in there is about the baseline. Of course, at launch, you may be as high as 50+%, but focus on bringing it down week by week by lowering ad bids on keywords that don't convert well or pausing ones that never get sales. Ads objective 3, find new, highly converting and relevant keywords to help you get sales that you may have missed or didn't realize were relevant. This means you need more than one campaign to achieve all these objectives because one campaign will not do all these things. That's why I suggest you set up what I call the Amazon Core 4 ad campaigns. I have seen a lot of PPC experts recommend campaigns such as a shotgun or catapult campaign, and in reality, those are more expensive ways to do exactly the things I will break down here. And just to be fully clear, I do not recommend setting up and running shotgun or catapult campaigns as they can waste a lot of money fast. Here are the core 4 campaigns you need. First, you need an auto campaign. This means Amazon finds every keyword or competitor product that they think is relevant to your product using your listing information as a frame of reference. Then you will set up 3 manual campaigns: a broad campaign, a phrase campaign, and an exact campaign. The best part is these 3 campaigns can find totally different customer search terms and have different levels of success during the process. This helps you explore keyword combination possibilities to help you get sales and ranking, but also helps you find new keywords from customer search terms as well. These 3 campaigns will do everything you need for your ads and more. You can run these 4 campaigns for the entire lifetime of the product as well, and I never recommend shutting any of them off unless they just never perform after years of optimization. One pro tip is that if you find some search terms that convert well in one campaign, you can add them to the other campaigns to see how well they perform in those campaigns as well. Another pro tip is you never, I repeat never, want to pause or archive a good performing keyword in any campaign. Always keep good keywords running, as they will help you get sales for the life of your product. If you archive or pause good performing keywords in a campaign so that you can add it to, say, an exact match campaign and only that one, you put too much pressure on the keyword to suddenly start working well there. If that keyword doesn't perform well in that exact match campaign, for example, then you are likely going to pause it, because you're only supposed to ever pause keywords that don't get good conversion or good ACoS. If this happens to a main keyword of your product, that means you are no longer bidding on the main keyword, and your ranking will drop over time, which kills your profit and the sustainability of your product on Amazon. This is the number one reason I have seen sellers lose their momentum and going from page 1 to losing their entire product on Amazon. A rule I try to keep is if the keyword is getting a conversion rate over 5% and an ACoS below 35%, you want to keep it running on every campaign you can. These types of numbers lead to a high converting listing with a never-ending sustainable product sales process. In short, if it isn't broke, don't try to fix it. So let's talk about setting up an automatic campaign. Setting up an auto campaign is easy, as you just have to basically name the campaign something like product name and then auto, like product name -auto, and make sure you name the ad group something similar. Keeping a clear and obvious naming convention for your campaigns and ad groups will save you so much time and push away overwhelm. And I also generally start with a $10 budget on an auto campaign, and I set my starting bid somewhere between 40 to 75 cents depending on my sales price. The lower my selling price is, the lower my bid will be on that spectrum. And I always use fixed bids for my bidding strategy to allow me to control the ACoS later. Now, when setting up my other 3 campaigns, my manual campaigns for broad, phrase, and exact, I simply use my top 20 keywords for all 3 of them, and those campaigns go out and do a lot of heavy lifting to find all the most relevant versions of my main keywords. I usually stagger the default bids for the campaigns as well. I suggest bidding something like 50 cents for broad, 60 cents for phrase, and 70 cents for exact match campaigns at the start, depending on your selling price. And then as they start getting some data and show how well each keyword performs in each campaign, I will adjust the bids up and down from there. Again, you will use fixed bids as your strategy on these and other campaigns as well. The main thing to keep in mind here is that Amazon ads are your lifeline for sales at launch, as well as continued sales for the lifetime of your product, so you will never shut them off. And if you don't believe me, maybe this quote from Henry Ford will help. He says, "A man who stops advertising to save money is like a man who stops a clock to save time." Doesn't really make sense, does it? Chapter 2, how to get reviews for brand new products on Amazon. Now that you have a sales process set up, you need to get reviews quickly so your ads will start getting better conversion and help you get your keyword ranking momentum going. For those brands that are registered with a trademark on Amazon, you can use Amazon Vine to get those first 30 reviews for $200. And now they have other tiers if you feel like you don't need 30 reviews. For example, you can pay $75 for 10 reviews, or you can get up to 3 reviews for free. For my money, there is no faster or more compliant way to get 30 reviews than to use Amazon Vine. It's a huge benefit to brands that are legitimate with a trademark and have brand registry set up. Vine reviews are also pretty honest, which can be good and bad depending on how well you have made your product. These reviewers will tell you right away if they expected something different based on your listing's description and images, or if your product doesn't work as well as you think. They usually don't give 1-star reviews, but they are more apt to give a 4-star review than a 5-star review if everything isn't perfect. Now, there is a real struggle to get your first few reviews on Amazon when it comes to sellers who do not have a registered trademark and who aren't registered through Amazon Brand Registry. That's because there's no compliant way to actually get reviews except when real customers purchase and review your product. This means you have to venture out and find a way to get someone to buy your product and give you a review. The best way to do this is to incentivize social media contacts with a 50% off promo discount to purchase the product. You'll have to create a promotion within Amazon's system that allows you to put a 50% discount on the product. You can also send the promo codes to any contacts you may have on an email list or just personal friends through email who would be interested in buying your products at half price. Here's a key nugget of information. When you send the promotion codes to the buyers who say they will purchase your product for 50% off, have them type your main keyword plus your brand name into the search bar on Amazon. Having that reference to the main keyword in the search bar tells Amazon's algorithm that you are relevant to the main keyword as well. If you can get even 10 people to buy your product this way and get them all to post a review, you will be off to a great start. Here's a pro tip. When setting up your promotion, make sure you don't check the box that says show on detail page so that the discount doesn't show up on your Amazon listing for every customer to use. And you also want to limit the promotion to 1 redemption per customer. If you don't do this, you will have bargain hunters buy up all of your product at half price, which will wipe you out in a hurry and lose you a lot of money. Another review tip is that Amazon now allows you to send review requests to shoppers who buy your products. You can manually do this by going into orders and sending these requests by clicking on the button that says send review request, but that is simply a pretty tedious process that I don't recommend. If you have a service or software like Jungle Scout, you can set this up to run automatically as well, which is the best way to get ongoing reviews from every sale you make on Amazon. So you now have the ability to get reviews right up front and keep getting them at a reasonably consistent rate in a systematic way that is fully compliant with Amazon. Chapter 3, how to get page 1 ranking on most relevant and most search keywords on Amazon. Here's a bit of good news. Everything you've already learned contributes to getting page 1 ranking on search results for your most relevant keywords. So how do you get page 1 ranking on Amazon? Well, it's based on a few factors within Amazon's algorithm, and you're going to be optimizing every aspect to give yourself the best chance for high ranking. First, you will have your listing optimized with your most relevant keywords. Then you will get great conversion rates to show Amazon you can get sales with the traffic you receive. Then you'll get sales on your most relevant keywords with Amazon ads. You can also send shoppers to the main keyword plus your brand name, which gives relevancy to your main keywords. You'll also have a competitive price. You'll get reviews right away and ongoing with Vine, your promotions, and by automating your reviews with Jungle Scout. And you'll have a high star rating because your product is good quality. Here's an example of where you'll show up if you end up being the top ranked product for your main keyword. This comes down to you getting sales and reviews rapidly so Amazon's system believes customers would prefer to buy from you over any other product related to that keyword. So you can see the garden shovel keyword typed in and the overall pick, and the first non-sponsored result is that garden shovel there. That's page 1, number 1 ranking. Chapter 4, comparing launch expectations with actual numbers. You also want to make sure you have created some goals and expectations for your launch, and then look at actual numbers once the product is live to see how well you did. Of course, this is technically part of the research process, and we did cover the fact that you needed to plan for launch costs and such during that process, but it's also nice to break down other metrics if you're going to project success as well. The first thing you want to do is make sure you project your sales per week so that you can see how your initial inventory will hold up and when you need to likely reorder the product so you don't run out of stock. Running out of stock during launch is the biggest reason a product launch fails, and it can even kill the product's ability to be profitable ever again. So do not run out of stock. And based on the sales you project for each week, you can start to plan your monthly revenue goals. This in turn allows you to set ad budgets for each campaign based on your tacos goals. For example, if you sell 500 units for month 1 at $15 for an average selling price, then your estimated revenue would be $7,500 for month 1. And if you shop for 25% launch tacos, which is a decent baseline number, then your ad budget for month 1 would be $1,875. That means your daily total ad budget would be about $62.50 because you just divide $1,875 by 30 days on average. Then you divide that daily total budget by 4 to set your daily budgets for each of your core 4 ad campaigns. This gives you about $15 per campaign each day. And you might remember I said $10 for the auto campaign, but basically if you do it this way, you can set your campaign budgets by understanding your sales goals and your ad budget goals. This means you know you need to spend about $60 in ads per day to hit your sales goal in this example. Don't chicken out now and reduce your budgets just because they aren't getting very many sales right away. The sales and reviews will gain traction as you keep the ads running and do everything else in this training. After each month ends, you can pull up your Amazon business reports and ad campaigns to compare to your expectations. This is a pretty extensive training on how to set up and execute a great launch on Amazon, but you still may find some roadblocks and challenges in this process. So if you need help getting this done, make sure to reach out. Just fill out the form that's a short questionnaire below this video, and I'll get back to you with a plan of action to help you move forward in your business. In the meantime, see if you can take these actions to get started. Set your product to a competitive price. Set up and run your Amazon Core 4 ad campaigns. Use Amazon Vine to get up to 30 reviews. Set up a 50% off promotion to announce to your social media and other contacts. Tell those people to search for your main keyword plus brand name to become relevant to your main keyword and buy the product. Then set up your review automation on Jungle Scout and compare your launch expectations with actuals to see how well the launch performed. Then head to the last video in this training.